Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Last time, we started the trial of who killed Chihiro Fujisaki. We first suspected Toko, aka Genocide Jack, aka Genocide Jill, but we found some inconsistencies there, which led us to suspect Byakuya Togami. But after some other things began to not make sense, Kyoko directed everybody to return to the girls' locker room, and after examining Chihiro's body, they all discovered that Chihiro was actually a guy all along. And yeah, I wouldn't say I was dropping subtle hints about that throughout the LP, but I kinda was. Like, I myself never referred to Chihiro as a girl. Even when I was doing the whole, like, showing my friend all the characters and seeing what he thought of them, I made it a point not to gender Chihiro. I would just say, even when I was showing the other characters, I'm like, here's Kyoko, what do you think about her? Here's Taka, what do you think about him? Here's Chihiro, what do you think about Chihiro? I just made it a point to always use, like, they, or just use his actual name. So, yeah, it was kind of tough, and and obviously, whenever I'm reading what the game is saying, like, yeah, okay, I go along with what the character is saying. Like, if Makoto's inner monologue was like, oh, Chihiro, she's acting kind of strange, then of course I would read that, but I myself never referred to her as a guy or a girl, so yeah, just a little subtle thing I was throwing in there. I've also been subtly throwing other little hints about other things, but those probably will not be caught on until later on in the game. So yeah, anyway, now we found out that Chihiro is a guy, let's get back to the trial.
I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy, the thought had never even crossed my mind.
Because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
And also, I think the report card doesn't even, like, gender the people either. Like, yep, it just tells you their name, height, weight, and chest size. Nothing else. So, yeah, nice little touch there in game too. So, yeah, okay, let's go.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion.
And that's also why I was sort of trying to give Chihiro, like, just a light raspy voice, but not too feminine, just to sort of, like, mask that as well.
The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Makoto just accused him of knowing a little more than what he was, like, letting out. Like, Makoto never actually said, you killed Chihiro. Just like, well, you're the only one that could have put the body in that situation.
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
I don't know why you would want to do that, but hey, whatever.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead, find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
Weren't you paying attention?
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility. Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer has to be a guy because the murder took place in the boys' locker room. So that crosses out all the girls. And, I mean, come on, Genocide Jack. No, we already went over that. Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Library desk lamp, disappearing stains, less account. Gotta see where this one's going.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer. And it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man. Game over.
Yay! No! Not game over!
Yeah, get it? Because he's a nerd. Alright. Not only do we have no info on the killer, but nobody even saw the victim before he died. But is that actually true? Because, yeah, Celeste's account, we know that Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse. So, yeah, Celeste is an eyewitness.
It's all over. You want to know who saw the
And then he's
victim?
saying, like, only the killer saw the victim. But nope.
No, it's wrong. I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously? Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
It's not that hard. Come on now.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say. But fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe. Damn you, phone. Whatever, just listen to this one time through.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! We picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. Because exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
Are you saying there's something off about what someone just said? Well, let's check Celeste's account one more time. Just to make sure. Yeah, on the night of the murder, right before nighttime, Chihiro was spotted leaving the warehouse. It seems she was stuffing some blue exercise clothes into a duffel bag. Presumably she was on her way to exercise, but the clothes were not found at the crime scene. Celeste had not told anyone other than Makoto about this encounter. So, we're the only ones that Celeste told Chihiro was stuffing
We know where Chihiro was
a... I can't check my transcript, really? Okay. Well, yeah, we're the only ones that Celeste told that to.
He was on his way to go exercise.
But
So
there
next
was
we have to
one
ask,
thing that you should pay
why
attention
did he
to,
choose the
because,
specific tracksuit that
like,
he did?
yeah, Celeste did mention the whole, like, tracksuit thing, yes. However, Celeste at no point mentioned the color. So, when did all this color talk come about? Well, after Taka suggested that they were wearing the same color tracksuit.
So, what you're saying is,
But
the killer was wearing the same
there's
blue
something a little
tracksuit
off
as
about
him?
this.
No, what's wrong?
How would he know something that Celeste never brought up?
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said,
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then I assumed he headed off to exercise.
she never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And then, like, you know, even if you want to be real specific, I like how it's highlighted. It's so good. But yeah, oh my god, I actually have to go back quite a bit. Wow. But yeah, just finding all Celeste things, normal duffel bag. All the bags were the same. Can't imagine what that might have been. Blah, blah. Sure about that. I think two pieces of evidence we don't have. I just want to show this off, because this is like actually really cool that they thought this far ahead. He's conversing, must trust whoever's meeting with enough. But yeah, in a hurry. Struck me as odd. And yeah, right here, stuff in a track jacket. No mention of the color.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility! Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course the ultimate gambler would appreciate that.
Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Okay, well, process of elimination, especially since we don't have a time limit here. Because she hates him? What reason would she have to hate? The way he was acting? He seemed to be acting the same. But no, it's the way he talked. This was another thing I sort of hinted at earlier too.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick.
And I even did that too, and I was going over the whole, like, e-handbook thing. Like, oh yeah, only dudes can go in the guys' locker room and only chicks can go in the girls' locker room, so yeah.
And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude.
And that's like a minor thing, but it does happen. Like, the moment you find the body and you talk to Mondo during the investigation, he's like, man, dude had a real bad complex.
Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You notice such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful.
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to, well, I mean, why would it be yours? You have yours. I'm sure Mondo has his, so it can only be the ones who went missing. Chihiro's.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbook break? There's only one possible explanation. Well, you can't hack it, and there are no bugs to exploit, so you have to hit its weak point somehow.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah, You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and 2 of them broke in quick succession, then
we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
She has a point.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is...
I mean, all you gotta do is just make a rule saying, like, oh, don't anyone break their handbooks now.
When it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
Well, that's a detail you shouldn't have left out.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried.
And who said video games aren't educational?
That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
The more you know. Cue the rainbow. Okay, yeah.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
Shouldn't you know that already, though? You kind of were in the sauna. You had everything like just set and ready to go. The towel and everything. It was like you know how a sauna works.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Who might have brought their handbook into the sauna? Really, it could have only been one person. So, you gotta think back. Gotta think back to the challenge among men. Taka and Mondo were in that challenge, but like I just said, Taka went to the sauna only wearing a towel. Mondo, just to prove how manly he was, he went in fully clothed. Maybe he still had his handbook in his coat pocket.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. I did. Okay, let me see where this one's going. Broken E handbook, Hina's account, Genocide Jack, Chihiro's E handbook, card reader.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Even I don't want to believe Mondo might have actually killed someone, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. I did?
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct...
Okay, what's the difference between Chihiro's handbook and the broken one? Chihiro's handbook was not found on her corpse and has apparently gone missing. One of the handbooks found in the main hall have been broken, which is apparently a rare occurrence. Junko Saiko's handbooks both seem to work, so it is assumed that the broken handbooks is Leon. However, Monokuma claims it's very unlikely that Leon's handbook would have broken.
Then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken,
so
then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
But I don't see where using this.
Handbook works just fine.
That was bad. That was very bad. I panicked.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Okay. I'm gonna try using broken E handbook on that Mondo statement.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is then that proves that what Makoto...
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Okay, good. For a minute there, I thought I was gonna have to suck up like something and like wrong and break it on that, but that wouldn't have made any sense.
Right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall.
Oh yeah, because like now if we know the actual weak point of the E handbook, then that means the broken one in the hall couldn't have been Leon's because the impact damage would not have broken it. So it can only mean one thing. It had been switched out.
Isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
So that means someone could just as easily take somebody else's handbook to go into another locker room.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch! What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning? That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Alright, closing, climax, better do, let's go. Alright, Act 1, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse with a duffel bag and... I mean, I did see... Okay, well, yeah, Celeste saw the blue sticking out. So yeah, don't get your money, little duffel bag boy. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can unironically quote that because Chihiro is a boy. Okay, well, yeah, duffel bag boy. Alright. There's something everyone has that you need to get into the locker room. So, the e-handbook, so you have to swipe it to get in. Yeah, just making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so yeah, you swipe it to get in. Which locker room did Chihiro go into? Well, obviously the boys' locker room, because Chihiro is in fact a boy. Blue door, okay. There we go. So Chihiro's like, hey, what's up? Somebody's waving like, oh yeah, it's cool. It's like, boy, I had a busy day, huh? Like, we getting ready to go exercise, huh? But then, weapon the killer used was, well, like they were sitting there, just pumping up, and then they were like, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and sneak up on them. The hell is this? No, it couldn't have been this. It wasn't used yet. Oh, okay, that's an action panel right there. Okay, so yeah, they were lifted and then sneaking up. Just turning like, hey, what's going on? Boom, death. So the murder took place. Some blood splattered into something, didn't it? Yes, it splattered onto the Hitomi Tanaka poster. All right, then blood was also on the ground. Dropped the dumbbell, and then was looking like, oh no, what have I done, Christ? And then Chihiro's there, blood on the floor, just crumpled in a heap. So they're gonna roll up the carpet, disguise the truth. The killer switched around the carpet as well as something else. Well, okay. You were taking down the Henri Okita poster. Then you picked up Chihiro. Yep, okay. Then right here, which locker room did the killer move to? The girls. Well, wait, which locker room did the killer move to? Yeah, the girls' locker room. Oh, okay, so we're skipping a step then. Because then, yeah, somehow they had to go and get the other e-handbook from the hall. Okay, so yeah, we're going to put that door right there. Then you grab the e-handbook, swipe to get in. The killer took something from the other locker room and switched it at the scene of the crime. Okay. Well, I guess it was the Rin Sakuragi poster. Alright, so then we put that right there. Set Chihiro down. Whew, breathe a sigh of relief. We did it. The ultimate ruse. Boys' locker room is looking fine. Girls' locker room is looking fine. And yeah, but oh no, the coffee stain is right there. But they won't figure that out. And then, oh, wait a minute. I have come across something very interesting indeed. I'm going to look all sinister, and then I'm going to go in. And then, what was it that Byakuya brought to the murder scene? It could have only been some extension cord. I'm going to hang a bitch tonight. That is, no. But then we're going to, hang up the arms and the neck. I'm going to take some blood off your face. And then in kanji that clearly was not localized because this is just a small panel. We're just going to go ahead and write on the wall. But oh wait, no, that probably is the O and the B there. Okay, then fair enough. They did translate that. Bloodlust on the wall. All right, Act 5. Where did the killer go after they were done? Well, they wanted to relax and chill, but they also wanted to dispose of the evidence, so they went to the sauna, toss it into the sauna. We're gonna look all kinds of, I don't even know what that look is supposed to be, and let me just make sure. Seriously, what is with this shot put? Like, no. Okay, yeah, this can only be like when the handbook got thrown to the sauna room, what happened to it? It broke. All right, let's reenact.
Here is you. First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room? Simple, because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet, then removing the bloody poster, and finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course. But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem.
And mind you, that's a loophole in of itself.
Exactly
Well,
how the killer did it.
yeah, but like I was about to say, like that's a loophole in of itself, because if you scan your own e-handbook to get into the other locker room, that's when you get shot up. So that's why, you know, they went to grab a girl's e-handbook so they could get into the girls' locker room without getting killed. So yeah, that's how they were able to get in and hang up that Kaho Shibuya poster.
With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
And I think this is sort of a bit of a plot hole in of itself, but as long as you like just look at the layout of the school, it's actually not that bad, because the locker rooms are on the second floor. Byakuya always hangs out in the library. He didn't pay too much attention to what everybody else was doing, so he wasn't adhering to the nighttime rules, probably just staying in the library. But then he heard a commotion, peeked outside, and saw Mondo like running away or doing something. So then he's like, wait, what's really going on? He peeks inside, and then like, oh, this.
So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work.
Like, but then that's also something that you kind of have to infer, because I doubt Mondo would have left the door open. So, like, he probably saw Mondo running away, or just a shadowy figure in general, because it was nighttime, running away from the locker rooms. Went and investigated the boys' locker room and was like, wait a minute. What's that poster doing there? Something seems off. And then, like, curiosity probably got the better of him, peeked inside, into the, whatchamacallit, girls' locker room by going to grab a e-handbook. And alright, I'm kind of clutching at straws at this point, but yeah.
He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body.
Then again, he probably did hear the commotion.
Using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime.
No, but then he wouldn't have been confused about the scene of the crime. Or the fact that Mondo did it. But he obviously knew that Chihiro... I don't know.
He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived there. They planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook. And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out.
Also, you just gotta appreciate how, like, what seemingly felt like a pointless scene with the whole, like, man endurance contest was actually gonna build up to this. So, yeah, a lot of things that have already happened in this game will be foreshadowing future events, or could very well end up being like future pieces of evidence that you're going to need to call back on. So yeah, I just love like the attention to detail in this game. It's so good. Well, just this series in general.
Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
He looked like 100% Kuwabara right there.
Wait. No. This can't be right.
And also, like, Yu Yu Hakusho, where Kuwabara is from, like, seriously, that is just a great anime. It may be old as hell, but it still stands up, and the animation always was, like, excellent on it. Highly recommend it if you've never seen it. I finally have the complete collection now, thanks to this year's Yamacon. I bought one volume, like, each year I've been attending, so yeah, I now got all 4 volumes. I got the complete series. I'm so happy.
Where's your evidence? Yeah, where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof. Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him.
Evidence that Mondo is the killer had already revealed itself earlier in the trial. What I have to do is check that one item of his and everything will become clear. Welcome to the bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more? Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Fever Time and Nega Time. During a bullet time battle, if you press the R1 button, Fever Time will activate and the tempo will be forced to its max. At this point, even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can push X square, however you want to destroy the opponent's verbal assault. Wait, did I read that correctly? Yeah, Fever Time. At this point, when you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. Okay, got it. But this only lasts until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. Of course, it wouldn't be fair if only you got access to special time, right? So we've also prepared something called Nega Time that your opponent can use. If the opponent activates Nega Time during bullet time battle, the tempo marker will disappear, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the buttons in rhythm. If you were to activate Fever Time at this point, no, never mind, I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. Unsurprisingly, if your action difficulty is set to gentle, the opponent won't use Nega Time. Well then, good luck and have fun. I play the Bit Trip games, I'm ready for this shit. I am going to have to concentrate though. I am also going to have to look at the controls again. Because I forgot. Lock on, reload. Well, I don't have to reload yet, but lock on, triangle. Alright, X, 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 triangle. Okay, got it.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence.
Tempo up, oh no.
Listen. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen.
Crap.
You're corrupt. I refuse to vote. I refute you. False. You're corrupt. Show me some evidence. I won't listen.
I am screwing up so bad.
I won't listen. I refute you. listen! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen!
Okay, that was all kinds of awful. But yeah, the Broken E handbook. Oh my god. I screwed up. I lost the tempo so bad. When it first went to Nega time, I lost the tempo completely. I'm so ashamed of myself as somebody who is actually fairly decent at rhythm games. Oh man.
Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's.
But that tends to happen, like in any rhythm game, like the moment you lose the tempo once, everything just goes to hell in a handbasket. Happened countless times in DJ Hero, like you miss one note, and then you're like, ah crap, I messed up, and then it just snowballs out of control. Ah man.
In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now.
Yeah.
Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
Okay, well, huh. You admitted it. I'm gonna do so horrible for part. Yep. Yeah, I deserve that C on the last one. That was bad. Anyway, some nice medals there. 102, not bad.
Bro, what are you saying?
Oh, crap. That's where I ended the part last time. Alright, so, yeah, I forgot to end on the, whatchamacallit, the, result screen. So, yeah, we know the results, that Mondo killed Chihiro Fujisaki. Next time, we're gonna see what happens to him. Well, I mean, he admitted it, but we haven't actually officially voted yet. But yeah, next time, the vote, and then we see where we go from there. So thank you all for watching. Have a great day. See you next time for some more Let's Play. I was about to call this Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, the anime games are beginning to run together in my mind. Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. Goodbye.